An indomitable spirit, fierce battles, stunning victories, and bitter losses.
At the beginning of round 2 as well.
He was a hero to many, a symbol of courage and unbreakable will. But fame and tragedy walked hand in hand. Arturo Gatti, a fighter who rose from the ashes so many times that he should have been called the Phoenix, not Thunder. His fights became wars that millions tuned in to watch. And his trilogy with Micky Ward went down in history as one of the greatest boxing trilogies ever. But what led to his tragic death? And how was his wife involved? Today, we dive deep into the life of Gatti, breaking down his most iconic battles and unraveling the mystery behind his untimely death. Get ready to step into the story of a fighter whose legacy became legend. Future Champ was born in 1972 in Cassino, Italy, but fate soon had him jetting off to Canada. Settling in a Montreal suburb, Arturo and his brother Joe dove into sports. Joe took up boxing, and little bro got inspired by his big bro's hustle. From the jump in the boxing game, it was clear Gatti was made for the ring. He stepped into the gym at just 8 years old, and that sport lit a fire in him. His older brother, known as Lightning, slapped the nickname Thunder on him, and he rocked it like a badge of honor.
I was all right in the amateurs until internationally when that score system came out. The white part of the gloves got to touch the opponent. Then I started having trouble, because here the guys with longer arms just scored the pity pat.
From the amateur circuit to Olympic dreams, Gatti fought with grit, always looking for a scrap. He snagged 2 Canadian junior championships and 3 golden gloves, but when it came down to it, he chose the pro scene over staying an amateur.
And I remember I told him then, no, Arturo, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. But I think I was wrong.
Gatti's pro debut in 1991 kicked off his bloody saga. 3 rounds in, and he had Gonzalez down for the count. Pretty soon, the name Gatti became synonymous with wild, action-packed fights.
With boxing gloves, taking the padding out of Resco's gloves, and we'll talk a little more about Panama Lewis. Now into this run and gun.
He was the kind of fighter you couldn't predict. Knockouts, nail-biting battles, and shock losses defined his journey, and that unpredictability had fans on the edge of their seats.
And he beat him. But Gatti can punch.
Oh, Gatti's got him in trouble early. Oh, he got him. He's down. This could be it.
In 1994, Arturo Gatti got the shot to fight for the IBF USBA Super Feather title, held by Pete Taliaferro, who had a record of 25-2.
He's got 12 rounds fight and has
A boxer that can't fight that I've seen Arturo Gatti.
very patient.
Gatti took him out in the first round, scoring 3 knockdowns before the fight got called off.
Really nice.
Taliaferro returns. What a start to this fight. Is watching closely. And that is it.
My game plan for every fight is to hurt my opponent in the first round to give me respect. And if I do hit him right, it might end the first round.
He then defended his title twice against American Richard Salazar, winning by TKO in the 10th round. And he took down Venezuelan Jose Sanabria by unanimous decision. In winter 1995, the Canadian called out Tracy Harris Patterson, son of the legendary heavyweight champ Floyd Patterson. The first round went to the young contender, who was confidently using his size. In the second round, Gatti dropped the champ with a slick uppercut, sending him to the canvas.
Right-hand lead hasn't
tried that tactic much. Crowd beginning to boo, and down goes Patterson.
But from the third round on, the seasoned Patterson took control, using his reach and landing precise right hands.
So finally, Tracy Harris Patterson is finding the opportunities to counter George, and the complexion of the fight changes dramatically. Love and a protest of the way that was done. Neither fighter has ever been knocked out.
In round 5, Gatti tried to step up the pace, but the champ wasn't having it, punishing him with heavy shots.
A draw, 1 2-point round for Gatti, so Patterson's going to have to get busy soon.
Rounds 6 and 7 turned into a tactical distance fight, with Patterson looking sharper. Gatti wanted to set the rhythm, but it wasn't working out for him.
Just thinking, hey, I got to look out for this guy. He's hurting my body.
Starting in round 8, Gatti began to show some fire, but he kept running into Patterson's counter punches.
Turned the fight around. Hard right hand by Patterson landed right on the neck.
Round 10 was the highlight of the night. The American charged in, and both fighters threw down in an epic exchange. The crowd was buzzing. It was pure fireworks.
He's here tonight, right, Larry?
Yep. His body in an awkward position this time, so he's kind of confused with the power of Tracy Patterson tonight.
Hard left hook by Gatti. And again, that sets off a flurry of combination. Middle minute of the 10th round was one of Patterson's best minutes of the fight. He lands a hard left-hand shot in there. And
he's got to go for it. Got to go.
By round 11, the champ was fully in charge, rocking Gatti with a combination and keeping the pressure on.
Left hook by Tracy Harris Patterson.
The final round turned into a real slugfest. Both fighters knew this was the moment that could tip the scales. Gatti put in the effort, but Patterson kept pushing back, firing shots and barely taking any hits.
A chance to land a combination, but Patterson countered with a right, and Gatti wobbles again.
When the final bell rang, both raised their hands, thinking they'd won.
Once again.
The judges scored it for Gatti, but not everyone was on board with that call. Regardless, Arturo snagged the IBF title. He promised Patterson a rematch and stayed true to his word a year later. Fights with Pete Taliaferro and Tracy Harris Patterson showed that Gatti was ready to battle for the top, no matter the obstacles. Winning against Patterson gave Arturo his first championship belt, but his clashes with tougher opponents proved he was more than just a showman. He was a fierce competitor in the ring. On March 23, 1996, Arturo Gatti made his first title defense for the IBF against Wilson Rodriguez.
Shows some patience tonight against the slicker, more experienced Wilson Rodriguez. Stays away from the left hook by circling away from it. And
in the middle of the second round, Rodriguez landed a powerful right cross to Gatti's jaw, followed up with a left hook and a right.
with a big job coming up, Gatti goes down on a...
Gatti hit the canvas, but got up by the count of 3.
On the verge of super...
Rodriguez tried to finish Gatti off, but
in round 2 against slick European veteran Wilson Rodriguez.
he fought back hard, and the rest of the round turned into a fierce exchange of blows. In the middle of the 5th round, Gatti threw a low left hook, costing him a point according to the referee's call. At the end of the 5th round, Arturo landed a left hook to Rodriguez's liver, sending him crashing to the mat.
Both fighters landed more than 60% of their blows in round 2.
But after rising at the count of 8, Rodriguez responded with an impressive flurry of hooks to Gatti's jaw. By the end of the 6th round, Gatti was back in action, landing another left hook to Rodriguez's jaw, who ended up on the ropes and stayed down for over a minute.
I have the heart and I have what it's got to be champion, and I did it. I proved it tonight again.
You sure did.
In February 1997, Gatti took down Tracy Harris Patterson again. And in October, he knocked out Gabriel Ruelas in the 5th round. After that, he decided to vacate his title and move up to lightweight.
I think that's when everybody got to see, wow, this is a kid that just doesn't quit.
I'm different from a lot of guys. You're not going to see for a long time someone like me. I fight to the end, and I can take just as much as I can give.
Several fights really stand out in Gatti's career, and not all of his exciting bouts ended in victory. His match against Angel Manfredi in 1998 showed fans just how brutal boxing can get.
Boxing victories over Tracy Patterson.
What started as a careful tactical fight quickly turned into a survival battle.
In this one.
In the first round, Arturo suffered a cut.
Gatti could be dangerous.
And the blood is starting to flow. Pretty off balance, but
In the second round, he lost his focus, became a bit reckless, and started taking hits.
in the right combination. Angel Manfredi has it going his way.
Manfredi, working as number 2, found moments for counterattacks, and in the middle of the 3rd round, a left hook sent Gatti to the canvas. But Gatti regrouped and looked like he might turn the fight around as usual.
Makes a mistake. He starts the old crossover.
29-27. Arturo Gatti remembering to go
Something to the side every couple of rounds.
Gatti just missing with the kind of left hook.
However, the severe cut forced the doctor to stop the fight in the 8th round.
Manfredi, who had sometimes during the fight
In his hometown.
the doctor one more time. That'll do it.
Despite the tough loss, Arturo Gatti's reputation remained intact, and soon he got the chance to face Ivan Robinson. Gatti always inspired his opponents to give their all, making this match especially thrilling.
And a good right hand by Robinson.
Robinson was moving around the ring, landing punches that Gatti wasn't backing down from. With his aggressive style, Robinson took the first round.
To the body by Gatti. The uppercut. Big hook by Gatti. What an excellent start between Gatti.
In the second round, he got even bolder but started to take more hits in return.
In the second. Because Ivan Robinson is getting a clear shot at Gatti.
Robinson kept pressing with precise combinations, but in the 4th round, he slipped and went down. Gatti couldn't capitalize on it, but he closed the gap a bit.
Come to the end of the round.
In the 5th round, it happened again. Robinson was throwing punches, anticipating Gatti's attacks, who was trying to close the distance but kept getting caught.
As Gatti comes in, lands 2 left hooks. Robinson with an uppercut for their run down.
At the end of the 6th round, Gatti got hit with a combo but quickly fired back with a right. Robinson wobbled, but there wasn't enough time to finish him off. Although Robinson still had some gas left in the tank, he took breaks, allowing Gatti to get back into the fight. By the last round, Gatti was still trailing on points and was banking on a knockout, which, fortunately, came his way.
Danger of getting out hustled. Now it's slicked here by Robinson, who continues to land.
Robinson managed to hang on until the final bell, and over 10 rounds, Gatti absorbed 400 punches while dishing out a fair number in return.
Gatti was being outboxed. The interesting is Robinson stumbles again.
The judge's decision didn't go in his favor, but that loss was dubbed Fight of the Year and Upset of the Year by the Ring magazine.
And that's what Ivan Robinson believes. He is as confident as any man could be that he's going to do the same thing he did in the first fight. And one thing's for sure, if this bout is any better than its predecessor, it is a lock choice for 1998's Fight of the Year, because Chapter 1 was one we won't forget for a long, long time.
4 months later, they met up for a rematch that was just as intense.
The redness begins around Arturo's left himself in round 1 tonight, and the left hook to the body can be a good weapon for it.
The fight could have ended in a draw, but Gatti got hit with a low blow penalty, losing a point and making it his third loss in a row.
And goes forward in round 3. Good trick. Oh, man. Punches and to land more than 60 of them. Almost all power shots.
After that, he decided to drop down to 140 pounds.
Gatti has a spring in his step. His ability to take a punch as well as to give one.
As Ivan Robinson and his team were leaving, one of his handlers said, "We don't want to fight this guy again. He's a maniac." But again, you've lost 3 terrific but losing fights this year.
I don't know what to say. I did my best. Ivan's just a good boxer. I think I started too late again, and I kept going off my game plan. I am going to fight again.
Expect a good, clean fight. Go.
The gym assure us
Gatti snapped his losing streak with a quick victory over Reyes Munoz.
moving in boxing as round 1 comes to a close. Down goes the eye, wobbling around the ring, and Eddie Cotton calls it.
Then he went toe-to-toe with former 2-weight champ Joey Gamache.
Absolutely starched to the bone yesterday. A name with its own colorful place in boxing history, and there's Gatti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull a Gatti.
Oh, there's a blow, Richie.
He's also looks so much bigger than he does.
Yeah, he's got a 15-pound weight advantage. Every time he lands a shot, it's abundantly clear.
Once fought.
Jakubowski said,
Jack
says when the time to fight, going back to weigh-ins the same day of the fight.
After 2 solid wins, Arturo Gatti threw down the gauntlet to Oscar de la Hoya.
If De La Hoya cut Gatti in the first round.
Golden Boy dominated from the get-go, and it paid off right in the first round. After a heavy combo, Gatti hit the canvas but bounced right back up.
Now De La Hoya lands his first effective combination and crumbles Gatti with a trademark.
De La Hoya kept the pressure on, landing 62% of his punches by the 5th round. Gatti's corner, seeing the writing on the wall, had to throw in the towel to protect their fighter, who was determined to stand until the end.
Here's part of the work he did in closing the show by landing 24, and De La Hoya has a 5th round TKO.
This tough loss hit the brakes on Gatti's career, during which he swapped out his coaching team. The defeat made him rethink a lot, including parting ways with trainer Hector Roca. His new coach was James Buddy McGirt.
To find Buddy McGirt at that point in his career was like something sent from God. I knew he had to change his lifestyle. If he was going to change his lifestyle and start putting 100% into the training part of it and the physical part of it, then I knew he'd be okay.
Gatti made his return to the ring in January 2002, facing off against former champ Taron Millett. He showcased some great boxing skills, moving actively and reminding everyone of his power like he did in the Patterson fights.
objetivo. Vamos a ver si consigue meter alguna derecha, alguna izquierda. Perfecto, sensacional nuevamente. Ahora la presión, vamos a ver. Le salvó la campana. El canadiense, entramos en el último minuto del cuarto salto. Ahí está nuevamente a la pera. Adiós. Vamos en el último, creo que pueden aceptarlo arriba.
Finally, Arturo got to fight the match he'd been dreaming of, but ahead of him was a showdown that the fans had been waiting for. The Gatti Ward trilogy is legendary, even to folks who don't know much about boxing, and it's no surprise. These fights are forever etched in history. In May 2002, Gatti and Micky Ward threw down in what fans dubbed the fight of the century. Two warriors went to war, pushing each other to their limits.
I don't know how many of the fans who came to Mohegan Sun that night really understood what they were about to see.
The first bout was a massive deal in the boxing world. Gatti was the favorite, but Ward wasn't backing down. Their clash turned into an all-out brawl, with each minute feeling like it could be the end for either fighter. After the 9th round, fans were buzzing, claiming it was the best round they'd ever witnessed. Gatti lost by decision, but boxing fans knew this was just the beginning of their epic saga.
Thank you guys very much. One question. Do you guys want to do this again?
I would love to. I would love to get a rematch if it's possible. And I think we should do it again.
We can do what we're doing.
You get most of the money is what you're trying to say.
we can talk, you know.
After some back and forth, both sides agreed to a rematch. The second fight went down in November 2002, and this time Gatti got his revenge.
Here's an example of some judicious, economical punching.
He fought a more calculated, tactical bout, but kept his aggressive flair.
Has a little bump in the middle of his nose, and it gets abraded in every one.
There's a left hook that Ward.
In the third round, Gatti landed a shot he called one of the best of his career. It connected first on Ward's shoulder, then his head, dropping him to a knee. But Ward wasn't done yet. He got back up.
Who would have expected Ward to survive? And Ward is making
Gatti dominated, consistently bothering Ward with his punches and dodging that powerful left hook. Even with injuries, Ward managed to keep the distance, but Gatti won convincingly by unanimous decision.
Do you think that a third fight between you is warranted?
Well, I have to thank God we're both healthy. We fought a great fight tonight. It's 1-1, so a third one I wouldn't mind.
As chatter about a third fight began to fade, Arturo pushed for it.
Stop me. He goes, listen, call Kathy, you make the fight. Mickey gave me my shot, he gets the shot. I'm not fighting anybody else. So you could let her know.
The third match wrapped up this legendary trilogy.
Is his older half-brother Dick Eklund himself.
On June 7th, 2003, they faced off for the final time. In this bout, Gatti switched it up, boxing instead of brawling.
Hits him with a right-hand blow. His party habits. I scored a 10-9, 3-0.
Both Mickey and Arturo gave everything they had, showcasing their pride and passion for the sport.
You see him win
Arturo fought with a broken hand from the fourth round, but didn't let that injury stop him from winning. After the fight, Ward admitted Gatti earned the victory.
For my last fight of my life, obviously I didn't win the fight, but more importantly, I made a friend for life.
These matches went down in history. Arturo and Micky climbed to the top together, creating a whole new level of respect in boxing. Interestingly, while they were rivals in the ring, they became friends and lifelong partners after the trilogy. Micky even became Gatti's trainer. At 31, having completed the trilogy, Gatti was back on the title hunt. His opponent? The undefeated Italian Gianluca Branco, boasting a 32-0 record. The vacant WBC lightweight title was on the line. In a nail-biting fight, Gatti showed his skills, scoring a knockdown in the 10th round to claim victory. After snagging the title, Arturo confidently defended it twice. His first challenger was Romanian Leonard Dorin, who also boasted an undefeated record of 22-0. That night is remembered for one of the most spectacular knockouts, as Gatti crushed Dorin with a brutal body shot.
Boom, there goes the good. Then he followed with a left hook because Dorin had his hand. He never regained his left.
It hit so hard that Dorin announced his retirement after the fight. The second defense was against the seasoned Jesse James Leija, who had fought 55 bouts.
We believe the warrior tattoo on Arturo Gatti.
In the 5th round, Gatti dropped Leija with a pinpoint right cross.
This may have been one of the best performances of Gatti's career.
Yeah, Gatti right hand was right off the jab.
Leija got up, but shortly after the fight resumed, Gatti landed another shot, and the referee called it a knockout.
And again.
He's hoping that Gatti gets reckless and leaves himself open.
He was dazed by that time and looked like...
Following that match, Leija also exited the boxing scene.
And you want to fight him, why?
Well, he's the best pound for pound, and I consider myself, I am the best. I want to show the world that I am the best, and I've been showing it throughout these years. I can fight, I can box, and I can punch, and I can take a punch. And Mayweather is the greatest out there right now, and I would love to beat him and get the opportunity to beat him.
After 3 successful title defenses, Gatti lost his belt to a younger opponent.
Do I care about Arturo Gatti? No. And do I respect him as a fighter? No.
He thinks I'm a joke. I just want to punish him. I really want to hurt him.
In June 2005, the fight between Arturo Gatti and Floyd Mayweather went down.
Gatti physically looks ready down to 140 pounds. 28 pounds to get ready.
At the end of the first round, Mayweather used his elbow to pin Gatti, leaving the referee confused. Seizing the moment, Mayweather knocked Gatti down.
How could he not? Going for the low shot. Gatti.
Arturo quickly got back up, furious at both Mayweather's antics and the referee's inaction.
Some retribution may be coming in round 2. Devastating shot. And again, Gatti being held down low. So quickly. There's a left hand. At a distance, he needs to keep the jab. Gatti's trying to load up, and Mayweather knew he nailed it. Good round. Gatti had been doing well. Get that rag off in the next. Close it down. It took a long time to turn Gatti back into a boxer.
Throughout the fight, Mayweather dominated, clearly winning every round. By the 6th round, the match was called off.
It's hard. I thought I did pretty well actually against him. I showed I have a great ability as a boxer, but he's just quicker than I am. And I guess that's it for me at 140. I'm going to step up to 47 for one more shot, and that's it.
After that fight, Gatti moved up to welterweight. But then things started going downhill for Arturo. He scored a quick win over some no-name Danish fighter, Thomas Damgaard.
And came here expecting to beat Arturo Gatti. And now he staggers him with the right hand.
but soon after, he suffered a crushing defeat against Carlos Manuel Baldomir.
Not trying to still possibly run a close decision.
I think the only thing that's going to win or try to hurt him. Too strong, and he is hurt right now.
Sledgehammer. Big left hook by Gatti. Baldomir didn't feel it. Another big shot. And what does he have left? That was a big left hook shot. And Arturo's not.
By then, Gatti was feeling burnt out from boxing. He had a daughter with Erica Rivera, and although the baby wasn't planned, Arturo had to learn to be a dad. That wasn't easy for him. He struggled with headaches and constant depression. Eventually, Erica left him. Gatti found himself alone, but soon met a Brazilian girl, Amanda Rodriguez. He was 35 and she was 21. Arturo fell hard, but after meeting Amanda, he didn't see his daughter again and shockingly fired his trainer. He dreamed of one last big fight. First, he planned to warm up against Alfonso Gomez, then face off with Javier Chavez Jr., but the fight with Alfonso ended in a total disaster, marking the end of his career.
As a result, dominated the whole way by a guy like Gomez.
Goes into the leg runs of every fight. Touching the head is Gatti, which Gatti, based on his pedigree, the benefit of the doubt.
His personal life was falling apart too. Gatti started hitting the bottle, and even the birth of his son only temporarily delayed his problems. He made a last-ditch effort to save his marriage by surprising Amanda with a trip to Europe, after which they headed to Brazil for Arturo's sister's wedding. They stayed in a 2-story hotel room in Ipajica. Amanda described the trip as amazing, but one of Gatti's friends shared an audio clip where Arturo called it a nightmare. The worst hit when the couple went out for dinner that night.
Arturo Thunder Gatti was found dead today in an apartment in Brazil.
The next morning, Amanda ran out of their room in tears and called the cops, claiming her husband had taken his own life. On July 11th, 2009, Gatti was found dead with a bloody handbag strap around his neck. Suspicion immediately fell on his wife. Former world champion Acelino Freitas said the couple was planning to divorce. Amanda insisted it was suicide, and the first autopsy backed her up. But 3 weeks later, the charges were dropped, and Rodriguez was released. The situation caught the attention of the Canadian government. A second autopsy on August 1, 2009, in Quebec revealed that Brazilian experts had missed bruises on Gatti's body. Without that second autopsy, there might not have been an investigation at all. While it didn't provide clear answers, it raised a ton of questions about the suicide theory. Gatti was buried in Montreal, but not for long. A new investigation kicked off in November 2011 when the athlete's family got the green light for exhumation and another autopsy. 2 pathologists determined that death was due to asphyxiation and found alcohol and carisoprodol in Gatti's system, a drug that can cause confusion and even insanity. Given the odd position of his body and the pool of blood he was found in, the murder theory started to look more plausible. A key piece of evidence was a will Gatti wrote in favor of his wife and child, leaving them all his possessions. 15 years later, the mystery of Arturo Gatti's death remains unsolved. Despite all the findings, the official story is still suicide. Whether we'll ever learn the truth is an open question. But the thought of this great warrior, who never backed down in the ring, choosing to leave this world raises a lot of doubts. The last honors for Arturo Gatti were paid on December 10, 2012, when he was posthumously inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame.
I'm different from a lot of guys. I'm not going to see for a long time someone like me. I fight to the end, and I can take just as much as I can give.